I want to jump into something that I think would be really interesting, and this is another year-long league redraft structure called an elimination
Elimination.
league. Elimination, the elimination league, and with this league, you have to change up your strategy a little bit because it's not about winning your game, right? So the way that this works, everyone drafts as normal at the beginning of the year, but every week, someone in the league, so it's got to be 12 or 13, or you can even do like a 16-team league, depending, and just structure the timing so that it ends at the end of the year. But basically what happens is every week, the team that scores the lowest amount of points is eliminated from the league. So they're out. They're done.
The lowest amount of the entire league gets kicked out of the league.
Right. Yeah. So it's not about the head-to-head matchups or anything like that. It's just a fun league where all the teams draft, and we're just trying to not score the least amount of points. So every week you've got a team that gets eliminated, and when that team gets eliminated, their players drop into the waiver wire, and then you can do whether it's I'm losing my words, but whether it's a waiver wire situation or however you want to do your waivers.
Priority versus fab.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I could not think of priority.
We're out of season right now. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, we're so out of season right now. Whether it's a priority order or and figure out how that works, or if it's a fab situation, everyone's eligible to go grab those players. And then every single week, teams are getting slightly stronger. But also one team is getting eliminated, and it ends at the end of the season. And depending on how many teams you have, it ends when there's only one team left, or if we get to week 17 and there's 3 or 4 teams left, depending on how big your league is, then you would go into a traditional playoff.
Have you ever done this?
But I haven't. I've only read and done some reading on this, so it's really interesting to see, like, because when you're going into your draft, now you're drafting not to lose games, so you're essentially drafting for floor, right? You don't want people that are going to zero out on you. You don't want folks that
or like late breakouts for some, like a good safe and then a couple of late breakouts. You know what I really like about this and the Vampire League is, I think the reason I like these unique league types is it introduces and forces you to try out different strategies. One of my favorite pastimes with my buddy is I play Rocket League. And there's these like little side, I know, bear with me, it'll make sense. There's these side games and side types that aren't the main one. And we always talk about, like, when we're playing them, like, what are we practicing here? Like, what about the main game is this letting us or forcing us to practice? And I feel like that anytime you're forcing these new strategies, because it forces you to do it, I guess, in a different way than you've done it, and then you can maybe bring some of that skill set into the main one. I like playing around with this different strategies of fantasy football.
Yeah, because then you think differently about players, right? And you have to think about rosters, and you think about what different variables can impact a player throughout the year, and stuff like this makes you think about more than just 3 weeks out, or thinks about the whole season, or thinks about injury history. Like, brings all of that into play where you might not think about that in a traditional redraft league.